What's going on, friends? Welcome back to another video. If we don't know each other already, my name is Lauren. I am a homeschooling mom in Texas. I used to be a teacher, so I'm sharing with you guys all of my tips, tricks, hacks, and finds that homeschooling has brought upon me and for our family and my son. Today, I want to talk about setting your intentions for the second semester, or kind of revamping, taking a break when you do, and getting back into it with a renewed sense of what you want to have as your goals, what your kids' goals are, what your homeschooling goals are. Even as a mother, I want to set intentions as well and kind of change my approach so that I'm always challenging myself, growing, and just moving about through life in an intentional and positive direction instead of being okay with just the mundane stagnancy that sometimes comes along with getting into a routine and doing the same things that we always do. With that being said, let me show you a printable that I put together. If you like the way that this layout is or just want to use it for yourself, it's completely free, and I will leave the link in the description so you can go and download it, fill it out on the computer, or print it out and fill it out by hand. That's what I'm gonna do. Sometimes I find that writing it out helps me to just solidify it in my mind a little bit more, and it's a little more meaningful than typing it up or keeping it on my phone and not really visiting it again. So let me switch on over and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the printable that I put together. It's just a semester shift. So I'm going to sit down and take a few seconds to think about what worked for us this semester, what we are going to be positively changing that would impact our learning or our homeschooling. I'm gonna write down a few learning goals that I want for my son to accomplish in the next few months before we get into the summertime, some family goals, and some parenting or leadership goals that go along with that growth like I was talking about before. So I'm gonna take a minute to fill this out, and then I'll share with you guys my thinking whenever I get done. Okay, I'm on my favorite place, Teachers Pay Teachers. And if you go to Blessed Homeschool, this was an activity pack or Christmas set. And let me show you some of the things that are in it. There's a Venn diagram showing US, Australia, and Mexico, and the differences and similarities of how they celebrate Christmas. There's some other really cute, fun activities in here, but I did like that there is a all about St. Nicholas. I've been looking for something that's short and sweet that we both can work on together but not be too overwhelming. And then there's even some one writing prompt, but then there's an extra page, so if you did want to have like a little cute outline or border for a writing activity, that would be fun too. Christmas trivia, a word search, and so here's all of her information so you can go check that out. What's today, 9? Where is it? Down at the bottom. Oh, it's another, it's like a monster truck. One of my main reasons for wanting to do this was to really just be intentional about what we've done and what has worked, but also take what hasn't worked or things that we want to improve upon. So I do have these conversations with my son also, and things that he sees as areas of growth, as well as his strengths and things that have worked in our whole process of learning at home, so that we can keep what does work, improve upon those, but also kick to the curb what we don't need in our routines or in our process of learning. So with what worked for us, I'm going to say authentic learning, having lessons and conversations that are just very real. They're not forced. They're based on genuine curiosity, and it's not just that we're going from page to page to page in a curriculum. And by building our own curriculum, that has really helped to keep the excitement of learning, to really dig deep in different topics. And I find that the learning sticks so much better because it is up his alley and exactly what he's wanting to do, so that I'm not trying to force a square peg in a round hole or anything like that. The other thing that works for me on the other end of that is having a more relaxed routine. So when I see that we're kind of falling behind or need to fill in some blanks or clarify on a certain topic, it's easy to just pinpoint those things and know that that's what we're going to work on. But having a routine that allows for a lot of flexibility has been less stress on everyone. Yes, our learning needs to be prioritized, but if we are having different things pop up as life happens, I know that you guys have been following along the craziness that we've had going along at our house these last few months. That has just helped for us to have a really relaxed routine to fit things in as they need to be fit in. And so that is definitely something that I'm going to keep. I was never one of those people that says, like, I don't have a routine or I can function without a routine. I have had to teach myself that. I am a control freak when it comes to exactly what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, how it needs to happen. I used to be, I will say, and now that is not the case. Homeschooling has definitely changed my perspective. Having to work from home and figure out all of my own scheduling pieces has completely transformed my thinking when it comes to that. And I will say that for some people, a more relaxed routine or approach to their different tasks is just beneficial to them. It doesn't mean that everyone has to follow along a specific plan. It doesn't mean that everyone should have the same schedule, that their working and homeschooling and everyday life needs to look the exact same, because that's so unrealistic and it doesn't work. But having those expectations of ourselves can sometimes feel like we're failing. So by recognizing what does fit into your plan and how things can function when it is up to you, it's like butter. I know for me, my anxiety has definitely been at bay once I just embraced not having to live up to other people's expectations or other people's scheduling needs and processes and things that work for someone else or another family, because that is not me. That's not my family. That's not the things that we need and what work for us. So I want to let you guys know that this has not always been my approach. This has not always been my mindset of things. And so yes, you can change and you can find confidence in what works for you. And so once again, finding those things and putting them in place, and also recognizing that that is why homeschooling or even working from home can be so beneficial. And then some learning goals that we discussed. My son asked if we can incorporate more science, and I'm pretty sure that that means like more hands-on activities in science. So that's something that I said absolutely to, because it's his learning and I really want him to have ownership and feel like we can have the conversations like that where he is wanting to do something. So I'm going to put in the effort and the time to make sure that that happens, so it's enjoyable, and once again, that learning really sticks and makes an impact. And from my end, I'm going to make sure that we incorporate more reading time, because I do want him to continue progressing in his reading and not be comfortable or stagnant in that sense. When it comes to reading independently, I want for his confidence to really take off in these next few months, and hopefully we can hit that goal by the summertime. Now, if any of these pieces seem like they are too big of a chunk to take off, if I need to break it down, of course I'm going to do that in the next few months. But I do want to have a clear path of where we are now and what we are trying to accomplish, and just give ourselves a semester to do that. One thing we've been prioritizing for our family is taking time to go do an outing once a month. So that has been really fun, very beneficial to just everybody's well-being, their happiness, and it's something that we can look forward to, even if it's not something huge. Like I shared the nature center trip that we took a few weeks ago, and that was something that we had just a lot of fun, and it was 10 minutes away. It took maybe a couple hours out of our whole day to go and enjoy that. And so prioritizing our family time, but also tying it into learning and having everything just work cohesively has been awesome. So I want to be sure that I keep that at the top of our list and maintain that in the upcoming months to continue, just spending family time together, but also learning while we do it and making those memories all tie in and be part of it all together. So that it's not compartmentalized into school and home and work and play. It all is part of our day-to-day and our lives in general. So being able to spend all of that time together and to experience those things all together has been so fun. And I didn't have that as a kid, so being able to give that to my son has been really impactful, and I see that he just enjoys it so much. So we're gonna keep that in the forefront of our mind and definitely at the top of our priority list. And then kind of going along with that, I know sometimes I wear my teaching hat more than I do my mom hat when it comes to learning at home. And so for myself, but also for my son, I want to pledge to take more time to just play. I don't need to have a goal in mind. I am one of those where I'm like, I don't really want to play that game if it doesn't have a clear outcome, if there is not a goal. For me, it's very hard to just play pretend, and it's not something that I really enjoy. So oftentimes I catch myself being like, nah, go ask your dad type of thing. But now I see that that is a big chunk that I need to set aside the time to do because it is something that is very important for my son. So I find myself like, okay, 20 minutes, I'm tapping out. So I'm going to commit to improving on that and in that area of my mom skills and our playtime, and just set aside time for just genuine play. So I hope that that gave you just a few little bits and pieces of how I'm going to take these intentions and to shift my mindset in the upcoming semester, and I hope that you will take the time to do that too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.